Welcome back here to Fly Palmy Arena for Game 2 of the live stream on Day 1 of the Secondary School Nationals. My name is Andrew Horrocks alongside Rangiora High coach Sam Watkins. Sam, you had a good win this morning. How have you found the tournament thus far?
Good morning to Andrew and everyone else watching in on the live stream. Yeah, not too bad so far. We had a good early hit out against St Mary's. Managed to play some good D early on and get out to a lead that we kind of really never let go of. St Mary's made a huge run back in the fourth quarter to turn a 14-point deficit into a 2-point. But I think we just had the legs in the fourth quarter to be able to run out with it.
Right, so looking into this one, we've got Rangitoto College up against Scots College from Wellington. And we'll get into the team list in a second. So for Rangitoto College, Jacob Fotu, Jed Barlow, Jimmy Kim, Joel Brown, Kaya Dryden, Arnold Nam, Baxter Riley, Cooper Allen, Michael Ropatini, Jackson Mills, and Elias Tahir. Head coach, the legendary Kenny Stone. Assistant coach, Brad Riley. Of course, his eldest son and Bax's older brother, Zach, now in the States on scholarship. And then for Scots College, Solomona Boyle, Tia, Gregor Burns, Cruz Gardner, Blake Geard, Thomas Gould, Andrew Griffiths, Flynn Rilstone, Alexander Shiku, Ethan Sue, and Paranese Boyle Tia. Head coach, Matt Phillip. Assistant coach, Pina Tala. So anytime you're in the double A's semi, it's always tough. What do you think the keys are for any school that wants to go deep into the 6-day tournament?
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to focus on what you're doing off the court. You know, it's not just about the games that you're playing throughout the day. It's how you manage yourself early on, being able to keep that wellness in check, keep the bodies fresh, whatever you do back at the hotels or in your prehab and your rehab, that all comes into play later on in the tournament. And yeah, just making sure that you can get bodies fresh because, you know, they're more used to probably the 4-day tournaments than the 6-dayers. But yeah, and then like for coming from Zone 4, all the South Island teams, we always know coming up here there's a lot bigger bodies and they play more of a physical game. Just make sure that, you know, you can get a bit of shock early on with the physicality, but making adjustments and getting out there and competing.
One of my favourite things of this tournament is just being able to walk through the different courts and different vibes and atmospheres as you weave your way through. Which court were you on this morning, and how loud did it get in there?
So we were on court 5, so right in the thick of things. And yeah, you walk through the Fly Palmy Arena, and early on, because the crowds aren't as big, it gets a little bit quieter. But you walk straight through into courts 7 and 8, and it's booming. And then you get into that middle bit, and just the echo and the sound bouncing around, it just gets massive. But it's it definitely helps for the vibe around the game, and brings a different energy to the game.
Right, so these two teams, how they got here. Rangitoto College out of Auckland on the North Shore got 4th in Zone 1, and then Scots College 6th in Zone 3. Sammy, mate, I need a prediction out of you. Always ask every co-commentator, which way do you think this one's going to go?
I wouldn't be a betting man on this one for not knowing too many of the teams, but I look at Rangitoto with Jacob Fotu and a couple of those other players. I'd maybe be leaning towards those guys. You know, they've been here and done it recently as well with those 2 chips in 2015 and 16, I think it was, and then a second in 2017 to Rosmini. So, you know, they've been there around knocking on the door. So I think maybe that experience from Coach Kenny might come into play later on.
Right, the Kaitakato are ready to go, and we're just about to get underway in the Kemu. Referee Regan Ashley making sure everything is sorted. As always, one of the most organised young men. And you don't see it often. They've had to make a slight change to their starting lineup. So we're going to see Cruz Gardner now entering it. Up against the not usually blonde Jacob Fotu. I got to see that hair story unfold on his sister Ella Fotu's Instagram most recently.
I saw that as well.
Both him and Kaya Dryden changing to the blonde locks. Here is Fotu, finds Joel Brown, and Ori a Korufifi Toru for Rangitoto.
A good inside good inside-outside action there for the Kuru Whiwhitoto for Rangitoto early on there.
Good defense there and a steal by Kaya Dryden. Away comes the very impressive young Michael Ropatini. Was a member of the Harbour under-17 team this year under Josh Davis. Here is Baxter Riley. As I said before, his dad Brad is the assistant coach. Is the Tongan Tornado. Jacob almost puts that one in. He's short on the shot, and away come Scots College. Kuru Whiwhitoto attempt there in the corner, no good. Rebound Fotu, and away come Rangitoto. Ropatini is stripped, and that is going to be baseline ball, Rangitoto. Always fun thing for me, Sam, on these early possessions is seeing what X's and O's coaches come up with out of these options. I see a little box look there. Ropatini tried to find Fotu there on double screen.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see what they run on those out-of-bounds plays, and you might even be able to find something for your own kitty as well, and something to take home and try back in your zones.
Here is Kai Dryden, no good on the attempt. And there is a foul there. Basket will not count. And we'll have that one again.
So Rangitoto getting on the boards early, pulling down a number of two-uppers early on.
Anytime you can draw a harder early on in the game, that's going to help. As Baxter Riley there is stripped. And away come Scots College all the way to the rim. And that is going to be out off Fotu. Boy, Tiati, I thought he was going to throw that one down there for a second.
It's a good attack from Solomona to get right to the paint. And he looked like he was going to go up, just changed to a little bit of a finesse finish. Unable to get it, but Scots College stay off the ball here.
Nice little action there. Burns kicks it out. Short rebound, Joel Brown, and away comes Ropatini. Big two-upper there for big Joel Brown. I think he's about 6'6" now. It's crazy how tall these athletes are getting. Is Fotu no good with the putback?
Yeah, a few of the girls made comments last night on how big some of the people are as they walk through the doors, and more often than not at a place like this you'll see people having to duck through all the doorways.
It's always fun watching young Julius Halaifanua for Rosmini. There's a foul there on Dryden.
He came up and stood behind me earlier before our game. And I didn't recognise him at first because he's obviously shaved his head, and I think it almost makes him look taller with the no hair up top.
Well, it's funny, I was talking to Catherine Jallis of the BBNZ office, one of our great event coordinators here today, and I was talking about young Julius, and I was like, yeah, he's pretty big for a 16-year-old, and she just looked at me as shocked. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, he's only 5th form. Not often you see 7-footers with that skill. As Dryden goes all around the pakete and finishes the bucket.
Some early points control here for Rangitoto. Scots College looking to get rid of that donut. Horns action here from Scots. Twist the ball screen.
Nice little pin down there, but just could not corral the pass.
A few nerves early on, maybe. This is the first game for both of them, if I'm not mistaken. It's a late one in the piece for day one of the tournament. There could be some nerves early on. So Rangitoto looks to come the other way. It's a little bit too easy for me for Rangitoto to get into the paint.
Well, Ropatini can do that. He's got very good ball control. But it's a bit rare for a Kenny Stone coach team to have turnovers this early in the game, as that's going to say Scots College ball. But yeah, as you said, not just first game nerves, but also being on the live stream has got to be a bit nervous.
Yeah, it definitely is going to add another element to your first game jitters.
Great defense, 1 second left on the shot clock.
Short on the Kuru Whiwhitoto.
And Griffiths just got a bit of rim there though, so is able not to have the violation. Here's Ropatini out of the pick and roll action with Fotu, turns the corner. Little floater off the rim.
There's Fotu. The two-upper, and he draws the Hudder and will go to the line for an extra point.
I'm looking forward to the day when Jacob Fotu starts throwing down some kudu toppers.
I wouldn't want to be on underneath that rim.
I've been dunked on enough by his brother Isaac where it's like, nah, I'm done. I'm walking away from this. When it gets to the third brother, I'm done.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like at the dinner table there with the three boys and Ella.
I've had a few conversations with Jenny, their mother, and they always get frustrated because it's Dan always seemed to be the one that won things. Obviously 2 national titles.
Yeah.
Isaac and Ella, who are older, never got one. And then Dan as well won is it West Coast Conference with St. Mary's? I can't remember if it's WAC or West Coast. Might be West. Is it WAC? West Atlantic? Either or.
Yeah.
Anyway, they beat Gonzaga in the final, and they're like, it's always Dan. Dan's always the one who gets the victories. It's never us.
Because was Ella's Rangitoto team in the final against Girls High?
Yeah, they lost was it 2013 or 2014?
Yeah.
They lost that final.
Yeah, shout out to Girls High. Tessa Boagni actually here coaching with St. Andrews College with the girls.
It's funny because those two now are best friends as well, Tessa and Ella.
Yeah, big. I think that was probably a big reason why Ella came down and played for the Pauakai.
Great up fake, tough shot. And here comes Ropatini up to Riley. And he's going to argue after this that was a pass. No tapa at all.
Always a pass. So that donut's still hanging around for Scots College as the kudu whiwhitoru goes up. Off the glass but not able to go in. Fotu pulls down another tūrapa.
Here is Ropatini. And once again, Regan Ashley not happy with the shot clock.
Always good to see good early game control from the team in grey. Shout out to the team in grey, doing a great job so far.
Not the easiest job in the world, is it?
Nah, definitely not the easiest job. When you come to these tournaments and you see, some of the basketball pedigree that are now in the coaching staffs as well.
Here is Dryden, no good on the reverse layup. Away comes Scots College, good kick ahead. And we saw it in the previous game, just the unselfish play. A little bit too unselfish on that one. And I thought Andrew Griffiths could have gone up. As we have another look at it, great kick ahead pass. And I take that back because he did not have a look at the rim.
Eyes on the rim first, you got to sell the drive.
Right, let's see what Scots College come up with. Nice little entry pass there. Good rip and go. And the donut still stays. It's Joel Brown. Takes a
good
floor.
action from Scots College though, just unable to get the cellophane off the rim so far.
Ropatini, a little floater.
He's got his fingerprints all over this game early.
Anytime he can make a kudu easy early, it's going to be good. There's the portal there for Scots College. Looking what they can reset into the pick and roll. Thought he was going to reject it, pulls up. And that's gone in and out there on the kudu piki. Good offensive rebound though. And Jacob Fotu just swallows that one up. Yeah, we're talking about championships before in the Fotu family. Shout out to Isaac for finally winning over in Japan last season, his debut year in the league. As Joel Brown off the pass there from Jacob Fotu.
And never too late to get that monkey off the bat with the first championship, no matter where it comes from.
Rulestone, tough look. And Brown picks that one up.
Rangitoto making their presence felt down on an inside. Nothing easy at the rim for Scots College. There's Fotu. Another nice finish there.
Well, that's a pretty smart wahiki there from Scots College. So Sam, you're a far more accomplished coach than me. What do you think Scots College is going to have to talk about here?
Well, I mean, you could argue maybe they could have called that the wahiki a bit earlier, but it's came and they're probably going to talk about. I think they're getting good looks. It's just trying to get that cellophane off the rim. I like what they're doing some good inside outside, and yeah, if they can just keep going to that, I think once they pull the cellophane off the off the rim and see some shots going through. That might open the kuruwhiwhi on the outside as well. But for Rangitoto, they are clearly dominating the turapas so far. I'd imagine that the rebound counts are very highly in their favour early on, not giving many second chance options and then getting some of their own down the offensive end too.
Yeah, very much looking forward to when we get down to the business end of the tournament and we start getting the live stats available to us in the commentary booth. What makes everything a little bit easier. But hey, shout out anytime you can have Glory League involved, Sam. I'm sure it's helped you as well in your coaching. It's a wonderful product.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we've got it down in Otatahi as well. More used in the club scene than the school scene, but whenever we get a chance to use that, it just makes it a lot easier. We don't have to carry our own gear around, you know, having to film and, you know, having to have access to the whole tournament as well, so we don't have to worry about filming other games, so we can scout early on. It makes our job a lot easier, so really appreciated on that one.
As you see, introduction there of Jimmy Kim. And again, good defense. The donut is gone. Beautiful pakete there for Scots College. That's going to be Flynn Realstone that goes to the line with the old-fashioned and one. Let's have another look at it. Just tidies everything up.
Yeah, there was another one earlier on where he hustled for the loose ball on the baseline. I was able to save it and throw it to someone else. So rewarding the hustle for Flynn Realstone early on.
Converts there on the free throw. And a bit of full court pressure as well.
It's always a good thing to go to try to flick the switch, get the defense firing up. That energy always transfers over well to the offense as we get a steal there from Scots.
Great wall up there from Kaya Dryden. But a put back in another packet there for Scots College.
A 5-0 quick swing for Scots College there just to trim this down to 8.
As Joel Brown there is going to go to the line. A harder call against him. Impressive young frame, Joel Brown. He had a bit of injury issues while he was growing a couple of years ago, but now that he's got through that, has been in the gym with Logan Boddicker and is starting to reap the rewards of that hard work.
You can never stress how important that SNC stuff is for the young athletes. It goes so far into their development, as well as all the skill work and everything else they do. As he misses on the first free throw.
And it misses both. Rebound, Dryden. Joel Brown goes straight back. Fotu has a go at it as well. And here come Scots College. Oh, lovely feed into Realstone. Spin move. And away comes.
It's a good second look there for Realstone. Just a little bit off on the finish.
I almost thought he had a better look when he caught the ball originally on the left hand, but as we see, Fotu gets a double team. What a beautiful mucker there to Michael Ropatini.
Beautiful finish on Ropatini there at the front of the rim.
Kuruwhiwhi Toru attempt, no good. And away comes Ropatini here for Rangitoto College out of Auckland's North Shore. Winners in 2015 and 16. But again, sloppy with the ball, run out, and left-hand finish. Beautifully done by Andrew Griffiths. And we're going to see a timeout here taken by head coach Kenny Stone.
Good timeout there from Kenny, just to, you know, maybe calm the troops a little bit. Scots have came out of that timeout and done a great job at switching it up. I started on the defensive end, and they've quickly turned that donut into a quick 7 points. So a great timeout there from Kenny Stone, just to talk to the troops and try to get back on task.
So would there be any, in terms of tactical adjustments, that he'd look to make besides the conversations around that?
I think maybe they just got a little bit flat, and it looks like, you know, Scots have lifted up the ante after that timeout. They're playing a little bit harder, and Rangitoto looking like maybe they're in cruise mode a little bit. So it might just be a, hey, you know, we can't be happy with a 13-0 lead early on. This is secondary school nationals, you know, anyone can come back in a flash, and we got to make sure that we're doing what we need to be doing. We can't just coast because we're up early on. You know, there's still a lot of time left in this game.
Absolutely perfect time to plug some sponsors. Of course, especially Molten, our official game ball, Bailey's, New Zealand Carbon Farming, Caltex, and Apollo Projects. And then, of course, our favourite radio station, My FM, and of course, as we spoke about before, Glory League. Good to have some new sponsors on board this year, Sammy. We always like that.
Good to see the love coming in from those other companies as well. You know, it shows the growth that's still happening within the sport, and it's great to have other people on board.
I always find it weird commentating in this arena because obviously every other court is a hive of activity, and then this one just feels a little bit off-centre. I don't know why this other courts are absolutely jam-packed. Here's Ropatini, finds Fotu up the top, pulls the Korufifi Toru, and rebound there from Joel Brown. Back up and in with the left hand.
Another tūrapa. Rangitoto still dominating those boards. Scots College finally able to get one of their own. They look to break, but there's Fotu getting his mitts on it.
On-ball screen there for Ropatini. Kicks it across to Brown. Handoff with Tahir. Thought about it. Dribbles into traffic. Pulls up. Leaves that one short. Rebound Millstone. And away come Scots College. Just under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Off the on-ball screen. No good again. Rulestone. And rebound Joel Brown.
Good early box out there from Brown to get position to not even have Scots College have a chance at that tūrapa.
Into Fotu. Backs down his defender. Little spin. Great find there to Jimmy Kim. No good with the Kurufifi Toru. And Elias Tahir is going to have an opportunity for a couple of extra shots.
Yeah, Blake Jarrett just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar there. Probably didn't need to reach in. I think his teammate had in a semi-decent position there with his arms up.
As Jacob Fotu takes a break. And we'll see the introduction of Jed Barlow. One of my favourite players because he had his first ever in-game dunk. I was coaching and I was like, okay, sweet. Anytime you got that in your life, it's a happy memory.
He looks young.
He's actually, you'd be year 12 now, he'd be under 17s. It seems like those blonde locks across all the players have taken about 5 years off their faces. It reminds me a bit of, I remember during intermediate in 2016, the entire Murray's Bay intermediate team decided to do that as well. So we had Dante Russo-Nance, Tautoko Wynyard, Rocco Chang, who's now at Westlake, all did it, and now it seems to have come full circle in year 13 for Jacob Fotu and crew.
You always see the different haircuts for all the rooks as well. We saw Rosmini having a shoot around just before us yesterday. And there was a few interesting cuts in there for some of the rooks.
Right, here come Scots College. Down 9 in the first quarter. Good spin move and right idea there from Andrew Griffiths. If the play hadn't cut, that would have been an inch-perfect pass. Just not on the same page, but as the tournament wears on, as the game wears on, those connections will start to happen.
You could see what he was trying to do. It was probably a right read to cut in behind the defense. He had the 45 guy, maybe could have filled the corner as well. He would have had that inside-outside look as well, but definitely a good look from the point guard. Here comes Scots College again.
Griffiths just gets stripped and Barlow comes away with it. Ropatini as we are under a minute to play. Surveys, assesses. Here's Barlow. And it's going to be baseline ball. Thought there was going to be a toss-up there between whether or not it was a blocking foul or offensive foul. They've gone with the blocking call. And that'll be 2 shots as they're in the bonus. Barlow makes the first. Misses the second, but rebound there from Joel Brown. Back to Barlow. Little floater, no good.
Rangitoto just doing a great job at getting their hands on everything. Looks like another huta's been called, and that's going to send Rangitoto back to the line for a couple more kuru tautukus.
Well, it's always a tough one, right? Because as a coach, you'd like players being aggressive, but then when it's in the bonus, it's like, well, you got to learn sometimes just to pull back and let the player have the ball.
Yeah, I think it's an adjustment thing from the players as well, especially on the defensive end. You know, you could argue that when that might be a 50-50 call, but once the referee starts calling them, you want to see your players making adjustments and not making those same decisions later on, because the referees are going to blow those fouls and they can hurt you in the close games.
Right, here is Jimmy Kim with the first free throw attempt, no good. Both teams are struggling a little bit from the line thus far. Converts the second, and Rangitoto back out to an 11-point lead. No pressure in the full court, as we see nice little handoff action there, but well defended from Rangitoto.
Great defense there from Rangitoto just to disrupt that little handoff action.
Jibalo with a block, and so almost going to have the last shot. There's just a little discrepancy between shot clock and game clock, but Ropatini is going to wait. And he's going to come into the Joel Brown and reject the on-ball screen, back into it, twists. Thinks about what he's going to look for, finds the corner, Jimmy Kim, Korufifi Toru. And what a perfect end to the quarter there for Rangitoto. So, Sammy Watkins, what have you noticed? Do we have another look at that on the replay?
So a great job from Rangitoto after that timeout call on their own. It's been a 6-0 run to finish off the quarter for them. So after that quick 7 points that Scots College got after their own, Rangitoto able to steady the ship a little bit and go out on another run of their own, and they're looking at a 14-point lead going into the second quarter.
From a Scots College point of view, what adjustments do you think they need to make at this stage to get themselves back into this game?
I think it needs to start on the rim. As we've mentioned a few times, the count on the two-up is definitely in Rangitoto's favour. They've got some big bodies in Foto, but it's not just Foto. They've got some other guys out on the outside, so they're crashing the glass hard and they're earning a lot of extra positions for their team. So just more focusing on hitting that box out early and then going after and chasing the ball, just trying to limit those possessions. I think on a few possessions they've played some good initial defence. They're just allowing that extra possession. And they can hurt you, especially when you're trying to climb back into a game early on.
And then from a Rangitoto point of view, obviously they haven't played a perfect game as yet. What do you think Kenny Stone's looking to tighten up on?
Well, I think we saw the hustle come back in after that second timeout. They got a bit flat, but they quickly have fixed that. Allowing 7 1/4 is always good defensively. I think there's a couple, maybe errors that Scots have made, a couple unforced turnovers, but you play through them. But I think they're doing pretty good defense, crashing those boards hard, and then just getting themselves extra positions on the offensive end, helping them out as well.
Good to see some of the teams getting amongst the local cuisine. Can confirm that those chips are actually extremely good.
Oh, I have not indulged yet. I'll have to get in there at some point.
What did you get around for lunch? What did you have?
We just went back to the accommodation, had a couple just ham rolls. There was some cheese left over, so my assistant coach, Liam Connolly, shout out to Liam, and myself, chucked a few of the leftover rolls just in the oven and just grilled just a couple of grilled cheese toasties. Probably had one too many. They're not sitting great at the moment, but can't turn down a cheese toastie.
Right, so it's going to be Scots College to get us underway in quarter number 2. Here on the live stream court in Palmerston North. Of course, if you are local, come down and watch. There's about 10 courts of action going on at the same time, especially in those middle courts. It's a lot of fun. Lovely off-ball action there. Korufifi Toru attempt, no good. But the two-upper is going to stay with Scots College. Great to get out of the on-ball screen, and beautiful finish. Anytime you can get a kuru whakao You've got to be a happy coach, especially on the first possession of the quarter.
Yeah, good job of just keeping control there and rejecting the screen, and then found a lane all the way to the rim. It's a good finish first up for Scots College.
There is Tahir, finds Barlow into Fotu, goes to work, spin move. Short on that one, Tūrapa, Scots College out to the races. Oh, what a find and finish. Beautiful from Cruz Gardner with the right hand to control himself.
A great finish as well. Those ones aren't always easy, especially when you've got to pick them up off the bounce pass, but he did a great job at controlling the ball and getting a nice easy 2 for Scots.
There is Tahir up top. Again, going into Fotu. Thought 3 seconds was going to be close there.
Yeah,
good
I thought
strip.
the same.
And what a block from Barlow, but was out of bounds. So that's going to stay Scots College ball.
A great job to challenge the shot, as we see on the replay here. Gets up, makes it at the apex, just unable to get his feet established before he reaches for that ball. So we'll stay with Scots College down this end.
Right, let's see what they draw up. And Rangitoto got lucky there. Jimmy Kim just a bit slow getting through that screen.
Yeah, he was lucky to not get taken off the dribble there. I think the pullback, maybe not the best idea, but he steps back into one here.
Great extra pass, and they're rewarded with the Tūrapa to the cutter. And another Kuru Whakao for Scots College, and couldn't have asked for a better start into the second quarter for them.
Yeah, great start for Scots College, just getting easy looks on the rim, hustling and getting extra positions. We see a header on Scots College that'll keep the ball for Rangitoto. But yeah, definitely the start that Scots would have wanted for the start of the second quarter, just to eat into that lead a little bit. Take it one possession at a time.
Ropatini to inbound, and just a little bit easy there for Fotu. Gets himself an easy Kuru Whakao.
Yeah, you can't let the big man steal down low. I like that on an inbounds play. That's barbecue chicken.
Lovely feed to the hoop. Good wall up from Tahir, just putting the offensive player off.
Great challenge there from Tahir. Good verticality. There he is, cleaning it up on the offensive end.
Gets rewarded with the Tūrapa and the putback. You love to see that, don't you? Little energy plays that can just get a player going, and then he feels a lot more involved and defensively, especially as Fotu gets the steal. And here comes Ropatini up to Tahir. On ball from Fotu. Go under the on ball, and Kurufifi Toru for Elias Tahir. I'll tell you what, Rangitoto College, in terms of just breadth of hair, potentially one of the most impressive teams I've seen at this tournament thus far.
Yeah, a bit envious of some of the hairstyles that are going on the court out here. I'm not sure if I'd go for the bleached look that Fotu's running, but
no, it's an impressive look. Usually him and Isaac have had the same haircut. When Isaac gets something, Jacob gets it, but I don't think Isaac's going to be copying that one. He might prove me wrong. Here is Joe Boog with the nice easy 2. And we talk about Scots College start. Well, what a great response from Rangitoto College. Little 9-0 run to open up a 17-point lead. Spin move, Rillstone, and that is going to be 3 seconds.
Just got a little bit caught there, did Flynn Rillstone. Not quite sure where to go to after the good initial defense from, I think it was Fotu that was down there playing the defense on that one. Just caught camping a little bit too long.
Here is Jimmy Kim as we see a 1-2-1-1 press, it looks like. And tip there from young Gregor Burns. No doubt the coaches won't be happy though with the execution against that press break.
Yeah, it looks like Scots are just trying to throw a couple of different looks on defense. Just keep Rangitoto guessing on what they're going to be able to get.
No good there from Ropatini, but he gets his own Tūrapa. Fotu thinks about the Toru attempt. Finds Elias. And turns into about a 7-person scrum. Somehow, Jed Barlow came out with it. But away
This is everywhere. Tahia's everywhere at the moment.
So Scots College out of Wellington. A little handoff.
Nice action from Scots there. Millstone just waits on it a little bit, able to draw the Hutter.
Yeah, just a lazy hand there from Jed Barlow, and you could see when the offensive player was just making that little adjustment in the air. That's all the referee needed to see to make that call.
Seems to be some support in the crowd. I'm assuming it's for Scots College.
Ralston converts 3 points the old-fashioned way, and here comes the Ropatini. Up to Jimmy Kim. Let's see what actions they can get into here. Rejects the handoff. Seems to want to reject everything except turning it over. And away comes Scots College. Good pass. And the kudu for Cow. Original one was no good, but nice easy kudu for Cow for his teammate. Here is Jimmy Kim once again on the right wing. And another turnover. And an easy kudu for Cow. And that is an absolute coach killer, Sam.
Yeah, I'm sure Kenny would have been happy with that one. But on the other end, Scots, 2 quick buckets for them just to chip into this lead a little bit. Still a 10-point lead so far.
Here is Ropatini. Pulls up for Toru. Tried to go the bank option, but it's nearly getting close to 5 o'clock. So they've rejected his transfer. Here's Burns just directing things up top, up against Kim. Nice little Iverson cut there. And floater, no good. And that comes off the hand of Fotu, and that's going to say Scots College ball. As we see timeout here by Rangitoto College. So Sammy Watkins, as we take another look at the action replay of Fotu. What is Kenny Stone going to want to adjust here?
I still think they're getting some good looks. I think it's probably just ball control at the moment. You know, Scots are bringing that pressure again. They've had a couple ones turned over in transition or in the open court. Scots are bringing a lot more of an energy to the game. They're crashing the boards a bit harder, so maybe they're talking about tidying up the glass a little bit, just making sure they finish every possession with a rebound, not letting them have any extra sets. And yeah, just not being happy with that 10-point lead. You always want to grow on it just to have a little bit more of a cushion. Can't be satisfied until the game's over.
What about Scots? Like, what they've done has been working. Are they going to want to make any adjustments out of that? Throw something that Kenny wanted prepared to adjust to? Or are they just going to stick with what's got them on this run?
I mean, they could maybe look at whether they switch up that press or if they go to a zone or something like that. But I think what they're doing overall is working at the moment. You know, they're getting some good conversions down the other end. They're getting stops down the defensive end. You've just got to ride the wave a little bit. It's not going to be all done in one go. You can't go for the Hail Mary plays too soon. Just keep chipping away and taking it one position at a time.
Right, so it's going to say Scots College ball here with 14 seconds on the shot clock. Let's see what they draw up. Almost well defended there from Rangitoto College. Hounding Scots in the corner.
Good pull pressure from Rangitoto there.
4 on the shot clock. What are they going to create? On-ball screen.
Should have shot the first one. I think he had enough of a sniff there to let the Kuru Whiwhi Toru go. He hesitated a little bit and then got stuck. It's a good defensive set out of a timeout there from Rangitoto. So they break the press easily with a nice wee bounce pass through the 2 at the top.
There is Ropatini over to Kaya Dryden. Oh, what a find. Joel Brown can't convert on the kudu for Cal.
I'm sure he'll be wanting that one back, but a good action from Rangitoto, just unable to find the finish. But they are on the break, and there he is again, and again it just bounces out.
Couple 2 rappers, and it's going to end up with Scots College. Lovely kick into the corner. Good close out, Joel Brown. Oh, what an entry pass into Realstone.
Yeah, they're doing a great job at getting inside. Maybe a little bit too easy if you're looking in from Rangitoto's perspective.
And Fotu there will go to the line, gets the header. Yeah, they've done a great job of just bringing up that second defender and then passing him behind either side. It's impressive to watch. Fotu converts the first. And uses a bit of everything. Rolls it around the tapa before dropping down. 2 for 2. Rangitoto back up 10 points.
Yeah, it seems to be at the moment, no matter what Scots do, they just can't eat too far into that 10-point lead. That cushion's still just hanging around for Rangitoto. So you see a zone set from Rangitoto here, so a change up from Coach Kenny Stone. So far, so good. No, it'll stay with Scots.
Yeah, a bit of a scramble there for the tūrapa. Looked like it hit Baxter Riley's foot. And so that's going to stay Scots College ball with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Great give and go, but when you're running into a man of that size, you run out of space pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think trying to operate that kind of action on the back of a zone is always going to be a little bit tricky, as there's Fotu with a nice sweet baby hook down low.
Getting the tūrapa on the O board. Hesitant, Korufifi Toru attempt. Here's, oh, great pass. And good finish. Looked like he was a little bit hesitant.
Yeah, just falling away from the defense a bit there, but still able to get it to go.
Great finish, Thomas Gould. So here is Riley looking for Fotu. Does a good job baiting the defender and couldn't connect with the cutting Joel Brown. So away comes Scots College. Just over 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
Again, that baseline cut coming from Scots where they were looking for the corner pass. You got to think that maybe that baseline cut's part of their sets, because that's twice they've had a bit of a miscommunication on that corner pass.
Here is Brown, likes the angle. And just manages to catch a little bit of the arm.
Yeah, he'll be hoping to see these kuru tautukas go through for him just to get that cellophane off the rim for himself personally, of those 2 misses that he had at the rim earlier on.
Brown converts the first and opens his lead up to 11 points. And converts the second. We're going to have a substitution here for Scots College.
It's good to see a bit more of a crowd coming in as we see the Christ College boys coming in and looking like they're going to have a wee peek at what's going on in their poll. Good winner first up for them against Kashmir.
I was chatting to Josh Davis before this, and he was saying Christ College, one of the favourites to win.
Yeah, personally, I'd be quite happy to see College win with, you know, it being Sheedy's last year coaching them, as him and the family look to move up to Nelson. It'd be great to see him finish his tenure off at College with a chip. As Rangitoto get the tūrapa, but then it's stolen by Scots.
Tough look, tūrapa Fotu. Andrew Griffiths just ran into a little bit too much trouble there. So here's Fotu. Offloads to Ropatini, pick and roll. And again, just lazy from Rangitoto. Not something you expect, and that's going to be Scots College ball. One minute to play here in the second quarter of game number 2 on the live stream of day 1.
The intensity within the game's definitely picked up a bit in the second quarter.
Great back cut, perfect pass.
Yeah, there's some good off-ball actions from Scots, and they're definitely finding the open man. Rangitoto just doing enough at the moment to alter some of those shots enough to turn them into misses.
And there's going to be a kickball violation there. Jamie Kim just trying to find the cutter, couldn't do so. So it's going to be Kaya Dryden to inbound for Rangitoto. 16 seconds on the shot clock. Finds Fotu, fakes the give and go. Then goes straight back to him, and one. Beautiful finish. Kaya Dryden got the defender up in the air, waited for the right moment, and then went up himself and finished, as we have another look at it.
Yeah, great job selling the ball fake and then just using his body to clear out the defense. It looked a little bit scary for the defender for a second with him coming over the top as Foto gets a two-upper and then another putback for himself. It's good to see that he's back on his feet and he's okay.
Having injuries are never nice to see. I was watching a bit of NFL last week, and the one that happened to Tua Tagovailoa on the concussion.
Yeah, he did not look good after the second one.
Right, so here's Ropatini. Rangitoto holding for the last shot. Shakes off his defender. Takes the brown on-ball screen. Finds Dryden for Kurufifi Toru attempt. No good. Still 2 seconds on the shot. Ropatini. And that is going to do us for the first half. Sammy Watkins, thoughts on what we've seen so far?
I think from a Scots perspective, they're definitely a better second quarter. I like what they're doing on the offense. They've got great off-ball movement and they're linking up with some great passes. Rangitoto just doing enough, I think, on a couple of their defensive positions just to alter the shot enough to turn it into a miss. And they're still, there's been a few offensive tilt-uppers from Scots, but I think Rangitoto is still well under control so far.
We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be back with second half action.
This isn't an ad about four-wheel drives. It's about knowing the place, as well as the locals.
You found the place. That's a good start. Built by my great-grandfather 20 years ago.
One of our biggest problems we have in New Zealand is lack of facilities, the lack of ability for kids to be able to just go in and shoot hoops. But our Hoops in Schools, Hoops in Parks project enables kids to be able to get out there and just have a go, you know, just be able to shoot hoops and have no boundaries, just go out there, have some fun. By not being able to get inside to a lot of facilities, this solves a lot of our problems. We're seeing the hoops that we've already installed just be so well utilised. Every time you drive past the school that's got these hoops in it, there's always kids using them. We know it's going to increase participation in our sport, which is a great thing.
Yeah, Hoops in Schools means to me just a lot of opportunity that when I look back and reflect on my experience at home in Portland, Whangarei, and in the schools, and there wasn't a lot of hoops around, but there was the odd hoop, and we'd always meet there, all the locals, and we'd have a ball, have fun, and that was a game for all athletes that played all different sports.
It's fantastic to see the ongoing growth of the Hoops in Schools program across the country as we continue to go into different regions. Seeing tamariki and rangatahi continuing to have fun through better accessibility is just priceless. And the true value for us is seeing the positive impact it's having across communities here in New Zealand.
It's been absolutely fantastic. We've been able to put 24 hoops into 12 schools right across the province. They were installed a month or so ago, and already we've seen the impact that it's had with kids getting out in there and playing them outside of school hours and the weekends. It's really had a huge impact on the game.
It was good to get into the community today and see the kids just having fun and being able to, you know, have access to these amazing hoops that have been put into new communities, because a lot of schools don't have access to these things.
Now, looking at this initiative with putting a lot more hoops in schools is amazing. I've been to 3 or 4 schools today, and just seeing the faces of this young tamariki has been awesome. And you know, it makes you think about where we're headed and where we've been, and you know, it brings a smile to my face too.
Want to catch a fuel bargain with Caltex and Supergold? Scan your Caltex app, Flybuys or Airpoints for 6 cents off per litre with Pumped. And show your Supergold card for an extra 2 cents off. Ah, feels good.
Welcome back here to Fly Palmy Arena. Andrew Horrocks alongside Sam Watkins. Sammy, who stood out for you so far in that first half?
Well, I like what Fotu's doing early on both ends of the floor. He's doing enough to challenge a few shots and cleaning it up on the offensive end, as well as number 15, Michael Ropatini. He's impressed me early on as well.
What about from the Scots College side? I thought a few players, in particular Flynn Rilstone, has had a good first half. Is anyone else for you that stood out?
Yeah, definitely Flynn. He's doing a good job, as well as other guards, so like Blake Jed. I think he's doing a great job as well. They've got a lot of guys that are cutting well off the ball, and the guards are doing a great job at finding the open player. Just unfortunate that a couple of those shots are missing, but it'll be interesting to see how they come out of the half time. They came out with a bit of a fire after the first quarter. They'll be hoping they can do the same to try eat into the 16-point lead earlier rather than later.
Right, the Kaitakato are ready to go, and we're about to get underway in the Kemu. And it's going to be Rangitoto College out of Auckland's North Shore to get us underway. Here is Kaya. Dryden finds Fotu off glass. And almost a kuru whakao there for Fotu.
Well, you just mentioned him, and early on he makes his presence known in the second half.
Tūrapa there for Scots College and get rewarded with the hara.
Yeah, they're doing a great job at just trying to create their own shots. Just finding it a bit tough at finding the right angles to get their shots to drop, but it's good to see that the aggression's still there from Scots. They refuse to go away easily.
We talked about it in the first half, that little baseline cut. I wonder if that's an adjustment they might make in the second half, where once they start sucking in those second defenders, if they can kick out to that corner, get that shot.
Yeah, they must have confidence in outside and guys to shoot the outside shot as well. So there's a couple passes that went awry that were looking for corner people, which is usually for a kura whiwhi toru.
As here's Ropatini, good full court pressure there from Scots College. Gets it over before the 8 seconds and just assesses that they're going to keep feeding Jacob Fotu. Finds Joel Brown for the mid-range. And that's a beautiful kurupiki for Joel Brown to start his account in the second half.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a mismatch early on for Fotu down low. If they want to keep sending bodies like that down on him, they might be looking to find him earlier rather than later.
Corner kura whiwhi toru, no good. And that is going to be a tūrapa. Joel Brown, away comes Jimmy Kim for Rangitoto College. Finds Fotu, lovely find to Brown. And thought he'd just give himself a little tūrapa before having a kuru whakao.
Always love to see the players pad their stats, but no, good on Brown to stay with it there and finish it off.
I was doing stats for Westlake in 2012, and Jalen Durand needed one more rebound for a double-double, so decided to run under the hoop, throw the ball off the bottom of the rim, and back to himself. And Ben Eves just looked me dead in the eye and said, don't you dare count that as a stat.
Shout out Ben Eves. We've had a number of chats, Ben and I, with him being at St Andrews and myself at Rangitoto. We've had a number of battles this year. Unfortunately, we've came out on the wrong side 3 times as Fotu finds another easy finish there. No, but there was a player who plays for the Rams, Kaya Isaac, Joe Cook Green's little cousin, who needed an assist in the semi-final against Otago, and the coaches were screaming out to him saying, you need one more assist, you need one more assist, and he just looks at them, he's like, I bet, and then just throws one straight away, then points at the bench and is like, I know what I'm doing. It's like an absolute just major flex.
Big fan of those stories. Of course, John Duran, I believe, still has the Westlake scoring record. Scored 73 points in these championships. Once upon a time.
73.
73. I think the best story I've heard, I was talking to back when he was up in Harbour, Paul Winatana Jr.
Yeah.
And his dad had 100 points in a game. I think there's something he took offence to and decided he was going to show all of his scoring prowess. And it goes to show why he had a professional career.
Yep.
And a very good one at it. One of my favourite players growing up was Paul Winatana Sr. Dryden inbounds, great pass there. And Joel Brown now is going to slow things up in the corner. Jimmy Kim assessing what to do. And looking there for the post up into Fotu. And one, Jacob Fotu. And if Rangitoto are going to make some noise in this tournament as we have another look at it, you have a feeling that the big man with the big blonde hair is going to have a big, big say in that.
I'm not sure there's going to be too many bodies around that's going to be able to stop Fotu down low like that.
Not at all, of course, out of the intermediate factory that is North Cross. Shout out to Moira Davis. I know you're probably listening somewhere on the North Shore. Here it is, Ropatini, great kick ahead. Joel Brown.
Oh, I thought he was going to go up for that one.
Thought he was going to go for the kudu topper. Yep. Ended up going for the kudu fakao.
Pulled the cellophane off the rim for himself. A couple of easy ones at the rim for him in the third quarter. Scots looks for a kudu whiwhitoto in the corner, unable to get it as Ropatini rips down a big tūrapa.
Away comes Ropatini. And just loses the handle on that one, and away comes Scots College. To the rim. Great body up from Fotu. And I feel that's what made the adjustment for the ball. So Jimmy Kim to the hoop. Tūrapa.
Might see a timeout coming soon from Scots if it keeps trailing this way as there's Brown again.
Ooh. Gets his own tūrapa and puts it up and in for the kudu fakao. But no, I agree with you, if they want to stop the bleeding here and make some adjustments, now that we've already had 4 minutes of this third quarter, it's going to have to be now or never, you got to think.
Yeah, I think it's too late to wait for any more plays. I think that Wahaki's going to need to come fairly soon. We might see what happens on this next play.
I don't know about you, but do you ever, as a coach, agree in the superstition that the player that you're about to sub out is always the one that scores?
No, I've never heard that one. I've never heard that one. It does seem to happen quite a lot though, so I can see why people are paying it, but not one that I've heard on or that I buy into myself. I am a bit of a superstitious coach sometimes though.
I always found as well, I play the worst sports for superstitions, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
Right, Fotu, little handoff there to Jimmy Kim. Swings it across to Dryden, and it's become a point of emphasis, you feel, for Rangitoto in the last couple of positions. Trying to get Brown into some post-up opportunities. There's a foul there.
Yeah, they definitely look to be trying to hammer it inside a bit more in this third quarter.
I mean, this game, of course, is by no means done and dusted, but sometimes you can always have an eye on those next pool games and what are your points of emphasis going to be? What are some things that you can work on in these opportunities? As we see a lovely take there from Griffiths to the hoop.
Yeah, it's always easy in these tournaments to get a bit too far ahead of yourself early on and start trying to look at the grand scheme when, you know, theoretically there's only really one game in front of you at a tournament, and that's the next one.
The Tongan Tornado there, or the Tongan Tornado Junior, I should probably say, with the
Great
good spin
back cut.
move. Oh, lovely back cut and finish from Cruz Gardner. When I see Cruz, I always think of Timo Cruz from Coach Carter. I'm like, okay, you can only shoot threes.
The original Steph Curry.
Right here is Brown. Thought about trying to find Tahir, steps through, and he's going to go to the line and shoot two, draws the hara. Good work there from Joel Brown.
Yeah, he's got his fingerprints over this third quarter. Looking to be aggressive as he goes to the foul line for a couple kuru tautukus.
Short there on the first. And converts on the second. And for his troubles, as superstition would say, the scorer gets subbed out. Right, here is Scots College down 27. What magic can they conjure here in the second half of the third quarter? Griffiths to the hoop. Tūrapa, Jed. And away comes Jimmy Kim for Rangitoto College. Little spin move. Barlow finds Dryden. Gets it back. And gets a nice little kudu for Cal for his troubles. Right, nice little on ball, rejects it, and his foot decided to reject the ball, staying in bounds as well. And that's always tough to see a young man being confident with the dribble and it just coming unstuck for him with the turnover.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. Looks like it may have hit the back of his heel. A little bit of something like that. You hate to see those, but yeah, as you said, always good to show a little bit of confidence. So they try to pick the lane a little bit there, but it ends up with a kuru whiwhitoru. And there he is again, Fotu, cleaning up another offensive tūrapa. And those putbacks becoming just a little bit too easily for Fotu down low.
Great rejection of the on-ball screen there. And then ran into some pretty tall timber. And away comes Rangitoto College. Up 61-30, 3 minutes 30 to play. And there's going to be a foul there. It'll be a third team foul there on Scots College.
Yeah, so the lead ballooning out to 30. Just under 3.5 left to go in the third quarter. Rangitoto firmly in control of this game so far.
Now Sam, we're talking about before about the different tournaments that we've been at this year. Now how many secondary school nationals is this for you?
So I came as a referee when Rangitoto won their first championship in 2015. And then we came to the most recent one in 2019 with the Rangiora High Girls. So this is the third time I've been at secondary schools. Just a completely different beast to anything else, eh? This really is the pinnacle for these young players.
What is it about secondary schools as compared to national tournaments, which you could make an argument is a higher standard because it's all the best players from all the best schools coming together, but what is it about the secondary school tournament that makes it so special?
I think it's just you're playing for a little bit extra, you know, when you're representing your school. There's a bit more heart in there, a bit more passion for who you're playing for, and yeah, just that extra level of having a bit more of passion towards it. It's a great finish there.
Jimmy Kim with the and one opportunity.
But yeah, I think just, you know, being able to play for, you know, it's a little bit more playing for the jersey and something like that rather than just the, you know, the rep stuff. But I don't know if it's because, you know, it's bigger as well, if there being 24 teams and then the single A as well. So there's a lot more players, you know, a lot more people on show. But I think, yeah, it comes down a bit more to the passion of who you're playing for and, you know, your schoolmates as another level than your rep mates potentially. I'm sure there's people that will disagree with me, but like I coach where I went myself as a student as well, and yeah, just a bit more for it, I think.
I think this venue as well adds a little bit of a specialness to it. I mean, like we top out at 6 courts in Auckland. I saw you've got a new facility in North Canterbury.
We do, yeah. So we hosted the under-19 nationals. That was awesome for North Canterbury basketball and just basketball in general down there as well. Just to have another facility that we can use. That it's pretty high tier. Yeah, just for our younger ones that are coming through as well to see the an under-19s level and see kind of what they're working towards. Those guys that want to go quite far with it, they can come down and watch free basketball and see what it's all about. And we've got it for another 2 years as well, which is pretty fortunate, really.
I always think it's cool from all perspectives that we have areas of the country that get locked in for 3 years for nationals, because then it gives you something to look forward to as well. I know Josh is always gutted because he tries to line himself up with these age groups where he gets to go to Wellington or Canterbury for nationals, and then the year he gets that age group, it's always the year that it gets moved.
Yep.
Poor bloke, I think Hamilton's the furthest he's travelled.
Yeah, I think it just makes it a bit easier for the admin side of things as well. You can just you can book the same place for the following year. Like when we went to 17s in Hamilton, we were at Hamilton Boys, and it was amazing for us because they catered in the hostel and everything like that. And straight afterwards, we were trying to find out if it was going to be there again the next year, so we could try book that again. Just makes it a lot easier being able to have something penned in advance.
What's your favourite place to coach at nationals at?
I do like here. I don't know if that's just because it's secondary schools or not. I like Tauranga. Wellington's good as well. I haven't coached at... No, I lie. I was an assistant at Harbour at NSEC. Well, it's not NSEC anymore, is it?
No, shout out Event Finder Stadium.
Event Finder, yeah. But I think it's tough because Invercargill's good, Dunedin's good. I think probably here in Tauranga. So we see a nice move there from Flynn Reelstone. Scots College not going away too much just yet. They're still trying to keep it competitive.
No, Bay Park is an awesome facility. Always a fan anytime. As Jed Barlow up fakes, kicks out to Fotu for the Kuruwhiwhi Toru.
Inside and outside as he does a wee celebration to the bench.
He's put away the guitar. It used to always be the guitar celebration.
Not the Lance Stevenson.
Oh, what a finish. Little floater there from Gregor Burns.
Great touch on the floater there.
Over the top of Fotu. Here is Jimmy Kim on the left wing. Little handoff there with Tahir. Finds Barlow. Looking inside for Fotu. Gets out of the paint. As we see the first introduction of Cooper Allen. And a player that's always close to my heart. If his mum is watching, as his mum used to be my hairdresser back in the days when I could actually grow hair. So anytime I see... Oh, it's great finish. And we see some claps there from Thomas Gould.
Those hairdresser-client connections are for a lifetime, aren't they? Once you find one, you won't stray from it.
Until God said no longer. And now I'm my own barber.
Hey, save some coin on that one, though.
Man, life is easy. I don't know how I used to do it. Right, here is Fotu with the big tūrapa. And I think this is always a key thing as well. There is still time to come back, but anytime you can extend your bench in these early games. As Allen there, great find. Barlow get up. Yes, Jed Barlow. Big kuru topper there for the young Rangitoto wing. And no doubt, producer Rich, we're going to have another look at that at some point. I can see him laughing at me. He knows it's coming. And it's going to be out of bounds. Rangitoto ball. Here we go. Let's have another look at it. Let's not. Let's have another look at it. Great drive and kick and up.
A great little, just a little sail to the rim with the eyes. draw the defence to him, and then just kicked it on to the cutter. It's great offence.
Right, Rangitoto here, holding for the last shot. Jimmy Kim to the hoop. And very acrobatic attempt.
Bit of a lost and found on that one as Scots comes the other way.
And that is going to crush the heart of Kenny Stone. I never said Kenny Powers from Eastbound and Down. I don't know why I thought that.
Load it up and truck it.
But that's 3/4 time. Let's have another look at that for the end of the quarter.
Yeah, Solomona, Boyle, Tia able to get out on the break towards the end there. Never happy as a coach on the defensive end on that one.
So 3/4 time, Sammy, what has caught your eye? What are the things that you think either team needs to work on moving forward?
I think, you know, Jacob Forto just came in there and just kind of said, I'm going to put this one out of any doubt. In that 3rd quarter, he was everywhere, inside, outside, cleaning up the boards. I think they've got it under control. I've been really impressed with Michael Ropatini as well. He's been controlling it as well. And I thought Joel Brown had a good bounce back after that 2nd quarter. He left a couple, maybe you could argue, easy ones out there, but he was cleaning up his own and getting the cellophane off the rim for himself as well. Flynn Reelstone over on the Scots College end looks to still put some work in down the end for Scots, and they've still had some good off-ball action for them as well. They've been cutting and trying to find those cutters, and you know they're not falling over and going away. They're still playing hard. It's just a credit to the Rangitoto side so far, 3 quarters through.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier for either side. Of course, Pool D of the AA boys, Christ College. Rangitoto, who's playing in front of us, St. Pat's Silverstream. Waimea College, I saw Phil Jones.
Yes.
Yep. See him back involved?
Yep, so I think he's been, I could be wrong, but I think it might have even been for a bit longer, but since Hayden's been at the high school there, he's been coaching them. And they made the final in the Zone 4. So they came second to Christ College. They ended up being blown out, but they're quite a young group, I think. You know, there's a few of the under-15s from the Nelson team that came 3rd at under-15s. And yeah, they got a couple young, nice players in that group, but yeah, they could do some damage up here as well. Hayden Jones is he's a phenomenal player.
I coached Big BNZ under-14 camp last year with Phil, and we were watching Hayden play, and he made some nice baskets, and our team was like, well, this kid's amazing, and Phil's like, yeah, he's alright, he's going okay.
Phil's very...
Never one to overstate something.
No, he's very nonchalant, isn't he?
Reelstone, no good, two-upper, Baxter Riley, here come Rangitoto, Dryden.
It's a funny story. I haven't actually read Hugh Bainen's book, but my mate has, and he said about at the end, he talks about how he just spends his time trying to make Phil Jones his best mate now. And then when Liam was up at the top of the South Island in the January holidays, he saw Phil and Hugh on the golf course playing golf together.
No one plays more golf that's involved with basketball than Phil Jones. He's telling me he's played 103 rounds in the previous year to that. I mean, when you're playing off a 3 handicap, you can definitely do that as well. Hugh improving a lot as well. Saw he's had some decent scores when I've had a look. But yeah, not a bad golfer to make your best mate if you want to spend some more time out there, Phil Jones.
There's a couple of guys through basketball that are keen on it. I follow old BBNZ worker Kono Ofi on Instagram as well, and he's out there quite often on the golf course as well. Seems to love it. There's a Kurewhiwhi Toru who goes for Scots College.
Who does the old 12 handicapper, Connor. The one guy who I think is the most underrated golfer of the basketball community is Aaron Young.
Aaron Young?
He's seriously good.
Interesting.
He's sneaky good. Him and Brooke Rusco actually play quite a bit. Shout out to Brooke from MyFM.
Referees weren't happy with something there.
I did actually toss up bringing the clubs down, as there's some nice courses down here, but thought against it might be a little bit unprofessional.
Well, you got to find some time for some personal leisure as well.
Oh, what a
bit of
cross
lost and
to the
found.
hoop. And
Solomon Boyle Tia with a bit of a now you see it, now you don't, as he gets to the paint, unable to get the finish.
little handoff there for Brown. Finds Dryden. Left-hand kick out, Ropatini. And a bit of 6s and 7s here, Rangi, on who wants to shoot it. Eventually Dryden does.
Yeah, it looks like they were all waiting for someone else to kind of do something.
Away comes
It's a great
Scots
cut.
College, and what a pass.
Almost OBJ-like catch on that reception. Did well to keep it in bounds, but unfortunately throws it to the Rangitoto team. As we see on the replay there, just a one-hand snag. George Pickens-esque.
I'm loving as well this year how they've got the sponsors just down the left-hand side of the screen. Of course, Moulton, Bailey's, New Zealand Carbon Farming, Caltex and Apollo projects. Thank you so much for your supporters. Brown with the Koru Fifi Toru, no good. Tūrapa, Scots College.
Yeah, shout out to the sponsors. We wouldn't be able to do this without them. You wouldn't be able to hear our lovely voices on the commentary either, I'd imagine, without help from the sponsors. So we definitely appreciate all the work that they do for us to make this week happen.
I mean, they probably love your voice, but I'm sure there's a few people that wishes the sponsors hadn't got involved so they wouldn't have to listen to me.
Yeah, I guess it depends who you ask. Probably not back home.
Blake Geared there makes the first. As we see teams streaming in for their next round of games.
You can see Palmy boys sitting behind the Scots College bench as the second Kuru Tautapa doesn't go. It's a good early win for them against Hamilton boys. I think it was a 6 or 7 point win in the end, but it was a back and forth for the majority of the game.
I've already told the BBNZ staff, get your tiebreaker scenarios out, because that's going to be a pull. That there's going to be some mental mathematics is going to have to come out, which we love to see. I enjoyed the introduction as Riley to the hoop, Tūrapa to here. For the introduction of the prelim quarterfinals, to give that third team in each pool a second opportunity, I think that's a really good thing, especially when you look at Pool B as well. Westlake, Rosmini, Mount Albert Grammar, and then Nelson College. We had a tough game against Rosmini this morning, but it's a pretty tough group. But that Pool C, Auckland Grammar, Palmerston North, St John's, New Plymouth, Hamilton Boys, and St Thomas College.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. Yeah, Nelson College. You got a young guard in James Matthews, unreal player.
Oh, what a finish there from Ropatini. You were saying?
At juniors, and he averaged like 60-something points for the whole tournament. Yeah, we had them. I was helping out with the junior boys. We had them in the quarterfinal, and we managed to restrict them to 40-something, which I think was his tournament low. He had like 69 or something ridiculous like that in the final.
That is unbelievable.
And then went straight on a plane to Invercargill and then played with the seniors down in zones. But yeah, just I would have loved to have been at 15s to seen him and Hayden operating together in that tournament. So we see Scots on a low catch here, trying to shift the defense, bounces off the rim.
That became a tough Tūrapa once they hit all aspects, and Tahir now comes away with it. So Tahir there with the foul, and that's going to be foul number 4 for Scots College, so no bonus just yet. Yeah, I love hearing those stories of just like out the gate scoring from the age groups.
Oh, there's been a few. There was one game way back in the day where Benji Freeman had he had 40-something in the third quarter when he was a junior still at Kings. But they something along the lines of they messed up his foul count and he ended up getting fouled out in the third quarter, and then Waimea ended up running away with the game.
Benji Freeman, I think, has probably been my favourite age group player to commentate. He just comes up with some out-the-gate things that it's like, where have you seen that pass, or how have you found that gap?
Oh, his offensive skill set is very high. He's a great human as well, off the court.
Oh, he looks it.
Some more and more teams coming through for their next group. It looks like the Auckland Grammar boys potentially.
I was talking to Lindsay Tay's mum, Tui, while they were playing this morning in that group of deaf game. And she's like, oh yeah, Auckland Grammar, we could be a bit of a dark horse.
Some big boys in that group.
That is not Auckland Grammar is not a dark horse, in my mind. People at home, you can disagree with me. I think Auckland Grammar, when it comes to the push and shove of this tournament, are going to have a say.
There's always those groups that like to just downplay themselves a little bit, eh?
Tui, you can downplay them, I'm not going to. I think they are going to be very good. And it's cool, I mean, we haven't had nationals for 3 years, so schools have kind of been tucked away from each other.
Yeah, it's so good to have it back, just being able to come up and see where you're at on a national scale, and it's always a different beast when you walk into the Fly Palmy Arena as the second Kurutautoko goes for Scots College.
Here is Tahir, and I'll tell you what, I saw that on my fantasy team a few times this morning.
The old house call.
Right, here is Fotu, alley-oop opportunity. And that's going to be a turnover that Kenny Stone is no doubt going to be talking about tonight. And both teams might be talking about those turnovers.
A bit loose on both sides now. As it might be safe to say that this game's finally out of reach for Scots. 30-point game with just under 6 minutes to go. And we've got a Wahiki.
So coming up on the stream, we've got St Mary's Girls in our next one. I believe it's at 5:45. Just double check.
Yes, against St Andrews College.
So both teams, what can I look forward to seeing in those, from those teams?
So we played St Mary's this morning. They got I can't remember the names of the players, but 25 outstanding shooter. We also played her, I'm fairly certain, at under-17 nationals in our semi-final when I was coaching North Canterbury, and she shot the lights out of that game too. And she always pulls up about 2 meters back from the three-point line as well, which makes it tough for our girls. I'm trying to scream at them to get out because she won't shoot it right on the three-point line. They got some bigs that can really dominate the paint. And for St Andrews, a couple of New Zealand players. You've got New Zealand under-16s player Karadiatua Williams, outstanding player. Then under-18s player Maddie Morrow, arguably I think the best high school shooter in the country for the women's game. She can shoot the absolute lights out of it when she gets hot. But they got some good young players in there as well with the Powell twins, Rafferty and Ophelia, Molly Morrow, Maddie's little sister, I rate really highly as well. Missing Lauren Whitaker, my little sister. Unfortunately, she did her ACL earlier in the year. I've just been talking to her older brother Mason, who's over at American, and he's done his ACL as well. So there's 2 in the family that have done their ACL, and Charlotte's just coming back off like 4 hip surgeries over in Colorado. But yeah, that St Andrews group, I flat with the coach Adam Morgan as well, and they've got one thing in mind, and that's a national championship for them. So they'll be bringing it tonight on that live stream game.
Great to hear it. Nice little kick ahead. And no good on the Korufifi Toru. Tahir comes down with the rebound. Oh, I thought there was a block. Not to be. Nearly had his Kodak moment. As we have another look at it, and you just caught him on the forearm.
Getting him on the forearm there. They always like to think that those ones are clean though. Good job by the official. Those ones always aren't easy to call. Potentially maybe got a bit of a audio that may have helped. It's definitely a different sound between hand on lever and hand on forearm.
It was like Judd Flavel inspiring the entire Breakers Academy generation. Just a yell, 8, every time there was contact. Just let the referees know. As here's Jackson Mills, up fake, and gets his first points of the tournament.
When I was at Institute of Sport, we had a guy there that was coaching us, and he used to say when he was playing, he'd slap his own arm to try and get a foul call. As he'd lay it up, he'd try to slap his own arm to try and get a foul call out of nothing.
Big Korufifi Toru there for Pyrenees Boyle Tia.
Boy, Tia, a few highlight plays for him in the second half.
Right, here is Ropatini just working things around. Jackson Mills, handoff, Ropatini again. Brown shakes. Handoff, potential travel. Play on though, it lies to here. And here comes Scots College out to the races. Ahead and beautiful finish there.
Scots College refusing to go away. Trying to make a little run of their own late. Spots who finds
Brown, no good. Well, I mean, it's not just trying to make a run in this game, right? It's trying to build some momentum moving forward.
Yeah.
But I mean, with these tournaments, because they're so long, you can actually find and lose momentum within a couple of days. So.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to win your first one, but a loss doesn't mean your tournament's over. You know, there's definitely a lot more basketball to play.
As you see Trent Adam there having a little giggle with some friends.
How good was that his team this year?
Yeah, I saw Mitchell Langton up in Auckland for the test match. And he was pretty happy as we saw Andrew Griffiths, but pretty gutted at the same time.
Yeah, that last game is definitely not how you want to finish your season, but a great group that they had in the end. I mean, when you can bring someone in like Pierre Cameron to help out, that's obviously going to do nothing but good things for your group. Scots College will try to move the ball up the court quickly, stay with Scots.
I think it's probably the most fun NBL season I can remember in a very long time.
Definitely, yeah. It was amazing. It was great to watch. It's definitely the most I've watched personally.
I think outside of the showdown, just because of the novelty factor of that, that was one for the storybook. And I felt for Hugh Bain and trying to work out all those tiebreaker scenarios and keep people informed.
Oh, it's ridiculous though. Like, who would have thought that there would have been a situation like that?
As we see a great take there from Rillstone up against Brown. Kind of similar players in a way, Rillstone and Brown.
Yeah, same body types. Both looking to try to get on the rim. Both been at the free throw line a couple of times as well. Yes, the Scots College probably looking to just try to get a little bit more rhythm that they can carry on to the next game. I think this is their only one for today. They might have a 7:30 game.
Let me double check the draw as I've got it in front of me. What are we looking for? We're looking for a red. No, they draw the joy of having the 9 AM game tomorrow.
What a joy it is. The second, Kuru Tautuku going for Rillstone.
I guess that's another draw question, right? Would you rather have one game on the first day, or would you rather have that one game be on day 3 or 4?
Definitely be on day 3, I reckon. I think I'd like to have the one game on the third day. You kind of know a little bit more around where you're sitting as well, having played 4 of your 5 games. Having just one, you probably know if it's a must-win or what you need to do, whether it's points diff and everything else that comes into it. Having the 2, you're probably waiting more towards later in the evening until you know what the outcome is.
Barlow, no good on the Kuruwhiwhi Toru. And away comes Scots College here, as we're in the burning embers, you could say, as Rillstone's blocked by Barlow of the second game of the live stream on day 1. Jackson Mills. Jimmy Kim.
Barlow was screaming for it down low.
Tahir almost thought about trying to get up, but instead just settles for the kudu for Kau.
Might be that header here, weighing him down a little bit. Solomona Boyle, Tia trying to get up again.
We used all of the tupper there before it landed. Jackson Mills turns the corner.
Oh, great kick.
Gets it back. And again, Tahir. And we're going to see subs in for Scots College. Always a rule that confused me doing school bench.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably one that you would forget, probably more if you're doing the clock that you have to stop it in the last 2 minutes. That's probably the one that's probably
Not so much
the
the
most
stoppage, but
niggly.
like the team that scores can only sub with the team that's not scoring subs in those situations. That always confused me.
There are a few
There's a few niggly
interesting ones, yeah.
rules. Like the old correctable error, 44.2. Brad Clive's favourite rule. Here's Burns, great kick out. Tough look.
Oh, hangs on the tupper, but doesn't go.
Here comes Cooper Allen. Back to Jed Barlow. And he's gained a little bit of confidence as he goes in with the layout.
He's walking around with a little bit extra bounce in his step with the last couple of plays that he's been able to make for this Rangitoto side.
Little side handoff here for Scots College, goes at Barlow, and Tūrapa for Elias Tahir. He'll bring it up himself as we're under a minute to play. Boys double A action as Jackson Mills, Kuruwhiwhi Toru. No good, Tūrapa, Scots College. And that's going to say Scots College ball. Rangitoto 87, Scots College 57. 37 and a half to play. And we're going to see a foul called there. So Thomas Gould's going to go to the line and shoot two. Because as we know, Sammy, every possession still counts because you don't want to get into a situation where you're on a points count back. And it's these last 2 minutes that come back and haunt you.
Yeah, especially if there's a few missed free throws. Those are the ones that are probably the most punishing.
Cheers for cursing him.
Yeah, we did the same thing to our point guard this morning. We were just talking about how good she's been offensively and controlling the game, and just as we said it, she threw the ball out of bounds towards the end of the game. I just said to her, look, that's on us. We put a wee curse on you there.
Here is Cooper Allen, handoff Elias Tahir. And he will go to the line as well. So the referees are against me having an early dinner at this stage. Does he have another look at that on the action replay? Tahir, yeah, just easy strip on the elbow.
Yeah, not happy with the call, but you can see that it definitely came on the arm. Wasn't the ball clean. Looks like Tahir's got a bit of blood that he's going to need to get cleaned up.
Are they going to make a blood substitution? Not yet.
Potentially trying to keep the free throw shooter on if they can sort it out quickly. Nothing a bit of the old strap and tape can't fix.
Right, Tahir makes the first. Back out to a 30-point lead. Let's have a little look at that wrist. Courtesy of our sideline camera, wonderful to have all week long. No good with the second. Tūrapa, there's a fight for it. And it's going to come off Rangitoto College. So Scots College is going to have the opportunity here for a last shot. Should they choose to do so. Doesn't look like they are. No, they're not. So it looks like our final score here is going to be Rangitoto 88, Scots College 58. Andrew Horrocks alongside Sammy Watkins. Sammy, what were some of your key takeaways from that one?
Oh, I think Jacob Fotu had his imprint on the game for the majority of it. That third quarter was massive for them. I think that's potentially where it got away from Scots as well. They did a good job after that, getting in that early hole and continuing to be aggressive and assertive and trying to claw their way back into it. But that third quarter just seemed to get away with them a little bit, and then Rangitoto good enough to just keep it at that 30-point lead.
Couldn't have put it better myself. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back about 20-6 for a 5:45 tip-off. We will see you then. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, guys, twice to sell. You've got past as well. Come to sell. Ladies and gentlemen,
This isn't about what we wore back in the day.
we're going to go now. Going once, going twice. No more offers. Sold!
It's about being trusted to get a better result for our clients since 1973.
Whoops, running on empty? Enjoy a 6 cents per litre fuel discount at your local Caltex with Pumped every day. Ah, feels good, eh? Get it at any participating Caltex. Whoops, running on empty? Enjoy a 6 cents per litre fuel discount at your local Caltex with Pumped every day. Ah, feels good, eh? Get it at any participating Caltex.